Alright everybody, welcome back to part 2 of my 500 sub special, and today I'm going to be doing a tier list on all the plants. So it's just going to be like last time that I did with the zombies. I'm going to be objective, so sit back and relax. I hope you enjoy. Alright, because I already recorded this once, I'm going to try to get through this kind of quickly, because I don't want to waste any more time on this today. So, Toxic Citron, F tier, worst plant in the game in my opinion. Bad primary, bad damage. The only thing he can do is get assists. Now, D tier, or bad characters. I have Metal Petal and Rock Pete in here for the exact same reason. They are slow, and the added health does not really make up for how slow they are, combined with the little damage that they do. All because they wanted to give them 25 or 50 more health, and it really backfired, and they're not good. Next, we have regular Chomper. We have 4 Chompers actually. Regular Chomper, Toxic, Chomp Thing, and Yeti Chomper. Regular Chomper is bad because he does nothing special and he doesn't do anything really well. Toxic Chomper and Chomp Thing are the 2 worst spray chompers. Their spray does bad damage, and although Chomp Thing has his regeneration, his health is really low. 135 is just way too low for what he does, and Toxic Chomper doesn't do enough damage. Yeti Chomper's primary is really awkward and bad in my opinion, so you basically have to rely on abilities only. And Electro Citron, I don't think is the worst character, but it's not like he's good or anything, and I've already made videos talking about him. So yeah, D tier. C tier. Armor Chomper at the top of the list. I think he's a little underrated, but by no means is he a good character. But once you get in close, his bite does a ton of damage. He has a ton of health to back it up. A pretty decent tank character, in my opinion. Fire Rose is the worst Rose. Really underwhelming. The single shots doesn't do enough damage. The charge shot has no homing, really. Compared to the other roses, you would most likely never pick Fire Rose. Power Flower is also below average because I don't think her primary is very good at all, especially compared to the other sunflowers. It seems kind of slow, and the damage, like they took away some of the damage, I'm assuming, because of Chain Lightning, and it is kind of it wasn't worth it in my opinion. They should have cut down on the Chain Lightning a little bit and made her do more damage because she's not very good. Barbecue Corn. Really fun character. Decent at range. But everyone knows the story. He used to be really good and now he got nerfed, and he can only reliably get shareds and assists. It's a shame because he's a really fun character. Commando and ISP are 2 of the worst P shooters. Commando P because his primary feels really inaccurate and shoots kinda slow, more slow than I would expect. So he's really not a good choice for a non-splash damage P shooter. And ISP is one of the weakest ones because his damage is just really bad. And he's one of the worst freezing characters. Also, Power Chomper, because he's a chomper, he's automatically not that good. And spray chompers tend to be worse on average than normal ones. So there's nothing much to say except for that he's not very good. Unicorn Chomper is worse than Twilight, and I don't think the Rainbow Warps are very good either. Especially not compared to the Twilight Warp. Disco is up here because he's a direct upgrade of Reg Chomper. Still not a good character, but he's definitely not bad. Fire Chomper, probably near the top of these ones. Maybe behind Disco. The fire damage is useful, but Spray Chomper, again, so you have to be point blank, and the damage it does is really not very good. But the fire damage is okay, so at least there's that. Ice Cactus, Jade, and Electro are all here because their damage just doesn't compare to any other cactuses. It's too low. Freezing, when you're doing 18 damage on a critical hit, is not that helpful in my opinion. Jade Cactus is okay, but I guess she counts as an armored variant, so more health, slower, less damage, and like all armored characters, they have much more drawbacks. Electro Cactus doesn't do enough damage, and Camo Cactus, this is about as high as I can rank them. One of my favorite cactuses and a really fun sniper, but fire rate is terrible, close range is terrible, and the reload is terrible. Now on B tier, I have Hot Rod, because I definitely by no means think he's a great character, but he's the best chomper that there is. Everyone knows why he's good. He's insanely fast. Twilight Chomper, just a direct upgrade from Unicorn in my opinion. Rainbow or Twilight Warp is pretty good. One of the more unique chompers and can definitely do a lot more than the average chomper. And Chompula, also a pretty good chomper just because he can regain his health after he gets a kill, and that's really useful for a stealth character like him. I would say Citron is near the top of B tier, but I don't think he's a great character because he gets outclassed by others in his character class. There's really nothing bad about Citron other than not having range, but not a single Citron has range, so it's not really fair to rank him down just for that. Reg Pea Shooter, good damage, just not very special. Gets outclassed by other pea shooters like Fire Pea and Toxic Pea. They're also B tier. I don't think they compare to the ones that I have up higher. Bandit is a pretty underrated character. Deceptively accurate, does a lot of damage. One of the best close range cactuses, so not too bad. These two are very similar, but Reg Cactus does more damage and Fire has the chip fire damage, so they're both pretty solid. I would say Zen Cactus is the best out of all these ones. To me, Zen Cactus feels like an upgrade from Camo Cactus. Similar damage, but a much better fire rate and reload. Now I have a ton of sunflowers here. Shadow and Reg Sunflower are essentially the same character, except for Shadow does more damage. Solid. Mystic Flower can be really good in the right hands, but on average, B tier character. Alien Flower is underrated, but I think B tier is a good spot. She's one of the best area damage characters, definitely better than Toxic and Park Ranger, I would say. Good in turf, good for objectives. Okay in one-on-ones. I think Vampire is not A tier, just because of how little health she has. She just dies so quickly. If she had like 95 health, then she would probably be A tier, but not enough health. Popscorn and Mobcob are both really solid characters, but they just get outclassed. Mobcob is a less accurate and slower firing version of regular corn, I would say. And Popscorn, nice 3-round burst character. He's just kind of trickier to use, and he can't kill zombies as easily as the other corns. Frostrose is okay, but Freezing is the only reason she's in B tier, because Freezing is OP in most cases. Torchwood is honestly carried by his abilities. That's the only reason I ranked him this high. His abilities are enough to make him B tier in my opinion. They're just that good. Alright, on to A tier. I have the 3 automatic roses, just because they're so easy to play and they're so consistent at mid-range. Really solid characters, but they don't They're not as good as the other rows I have ahead of them, so that's why they're A tier. I have Party and Frozen as two of the best Citrons. Party because he's a direct upgrade from Reg Citron, and he has a party time. And Frozen Citron because he's a tank killer. He can kill Super Brains so easily. All-Star, Mechs, you name it. He's one of the best freeze characters. Future Cactus is the best cactus. Almost. Has really insane damage per shot and a really good sniper option on the plants. These are my best three sunflowers. I think Fireflower is better than Shadow and Reg because of fire damage. Stuffy can heal herself and she does really good damage as well, so in a way, well, she does have the same gimmick as Count Chompula basically, and it's really useful. And then I think Sunpharaoh is really underrated, and hits the hardest out of any, pretty much hits the hardest out of any sunflower. And once you learn to use her, she is definitely one of the best sunflowers in my opinion. Commandocorn is a great character, but he's not S tier. His damage is really good. He's easy to use. Ammo's kind of a problem, but he'd be OP if he had like 40 ammo all the time. So yeah, he's a solid character, really fun legendary. Colonel Corn is like Reg Soldier, super consistent, super popular, just not as good as Party Corn, so that's why he's A tier. And then Lappy. Lappy's really good. Insane fire rate, really good damage up close. Very skill based though, so that can kind of hold him back if the person playing him isn't very good, but yeah, A tier, and in the right hands, S tier. Now, on to S tier. Necros, ridiculous. Jinx is so broken. It basically, if you get jinxed as a zombie, you have to hide or you're gonna die so quickly. Necros is one of the best mid-range characters for that reason. You can just drop people so quickly and brainlessly, it's not even fair. Plasma P, I don't think he's really underrated anymore at this point because everyone knows that he's crazy. But I never see him in S tier, so I'm going to put him in S tier because I think he is insane. His damage is ridiculous, his splash is too much for how much ammo and damage he does normally. He's the best splash damage P shooter. Agent P is in S tier for the same reason as Z7 was. He would be broken, but he's kind of skill-based because you need to hit your shots. Criticals do a ton of damage, so if you just hit all criticals, you kill people ridiculously easy, but no one's perfect after all. But there are tons of people who can make him a broken character. Not fun to play against whatsoever. Party Corn is the best Corn. He's just Colonel Corn, but with a legendary mode. Super consistent, and once he gets in party time, he's unstoppable. Iron Citron is also really consistent. 50 damage up close with a really quick reload and a legendary mode, and 250 health. What more could you want? And then Broken. You know why they're up here. They're manual detonation, and manual detonation is way too good. I don't have to explain anything else. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my tier list. Let me know in the comments if there's any others you want to see in the future. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching.